I know that it sounds like it's just stoking a fringe. I know most of us want to move on from the pandemic. I don't think we can, and here's why. There are too many questions about what happened during the pandemic to just move on. That's why we've been asking them here. You got to remember, I was off TV for a little while, so I didn't have a platform to do these things, but I do now. And if you discount the anti-vaxxers and people who believe lockdowns were tyranny, fine, but I think it's a mistake. I don't agree with all their assessments, but I think the conversation is the cure, not calling them crazy, and here's why. COVID isn't going anywhere. I'm not saying that we're going to have huge cases and hospitalizations like we did with the early virus, the original and the first one or two variants. I'm saying that the virus will still continue to affect the health of the young and the old in ways that we can see and can't see. And we have to deal with it. And you can't do that if you don't put it front and center and hold to account what has already come to pass. That's why you need to look at the reality that there are so many saying they were hurt by the vaccine. Doesn't mean that the vaccine was a scam or that. But you have to go through the process of analysis. There are too many saying that they were hurt. Side effects may occur. Yeah, I know, but how many and in what degree and at what point should we have known better? 42-year-old teacher and mom from Utah, Brianne Dressen, said she wanted to do her part for science when COVID broke out. That was the messaging. I often echoed it. It will help you not get sick. It will help you not get other people sick. So she volunteered in 2020 to take part in British-based AstraZeneca's clinical trial for their vaccine. Remember, she's not just like the rest of us who just did what she was told to do. She did it voluntarily to make sure others could. Now she's suing the drug manufacturer, first lawsuit of its kind in the United States, claiming she became permanently disabled after one shot of the vaccine. Dressen's lawsuit says she developed a severe neurological condition called post-vaccine neuropathy, leaving her with burning and painful stabbing sensations across her body. Also has cardiac issues, ringing in her ears, very similar symptoms to the guy we had on Sean, the nurse. Even though he didn't have this vaccine, he had one that's based on totally different technology. She says her life went from being the picture of health to a shadow of her former self. I want to bring in Brianne right now and her lawyer, Aaron Seary, because I have a question for him, too. Brianne, I want people to understand what has happened to you and why you're doing this. Thank you for being with us. But customarily, I will ignore counsel as much as I can, but not this time. Aaron, I have a question. As a lawyer, is Brianne at all compromised in her ability to go after AstraZeneca because she volunteered for a clinical trial as opposed to just being someone like me or you who got it when it was made available to the public and we were told to take it?
No, I don't think that compromises her at all. I think she's subject to the same restrictions on bringing lawsuits for the most part that you, Chris, or anybody else that was injured from a COVID vaccine. And that's the PrEP Act. That's the federal government explicitly giving the vaccine manufacturers immunity for any injury that occurred from the COVID vaccine. And they didn't just do it, by the way, after the vaccine came out. They gave the immunity. They gave that immunity to them before they even developed the vaccine and did so contractually as well as doing so by law.
Right. Now, look, we know what that debate is going to be, and I think it's a good one to have, which is, well, they were asking us to rush it, says the companies. You know, ordinarily, we would have taken longer, so we needed some type of protection. Let's put it to the side. Brianne, you look great. So explain to the audience, what are you actually dealing with, and how has life changed for you so much that you feel you need to litigate this?
Well, you know, the easiest way to explain this is that it's an invisible illness. I mean, we all look fine, right? We're not in a wheelchair. We still have hair. You know, we can still smile and communicate sometimes clearly. But the reality is I am in pain every second of every day. Unfortunately, I have a severe progressive neuropathy that will continue to progress until my life is done. It's something that is a very sharp, tingling electrical sensation, and it courses through my body 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But in addition to that, I have the tinnitus like Sean does. I have the food sensitivities. I'm completely dependent on other people. In my home, at the time, I had a 6 and an 8-year-old kid, and their lives, our lives revolved around them. Mom took care of everything for them. But now, unfortunately, everything revolves around mom. They have to figure out if mom can help them that day with their homework, if mom can make them breakfast, if mom's going to be able to get out of bed, is mom going to be able to take them to school? These are all very simple tasks that people take for granted. But when your health is robbed from you, those things are now things that you have to prioritize from one day to the next, depending on how your body is doing.
When you reported this set of events to the company, what was the response?
Silence. It's that simple. It was silence. I thought that they were going to be there to help me. In my contract, they stated explicitly that they will be there to help me financially as well as medically, and they didn't either. It's as if they couldn't get away from me fast enough after I reported my injury. I'm nothing more than a number to them, to be totally honest.
Well, it's hard to feel otherwise when they didn't reach out, right? What other message does it send? Well, look, let me give you a little dirty secret that I'm sure Aaron explained to you about litigation. Litigation is about time and who has the most time and who has the resources to extend time. What I can do here in the media is promise you, I don't forget, okay? I don't forget. So until this ends, we're always a phone call away. I'm not saying that everything you say is right and everything that's wrong. I got to look at everything. But I will say this, I will follow the process to its conclusion. And AstraZeneca, you are going to get a suggestion to come on this show, and I want to understand why you wouldn't have even reached out to somebody who you'd made a deal with. Brianne, we are here for the duration, and I wish you the best with your family. Counsel, we're always a call away for any developments that you believe are instructive of the process, okay?
Thank you for that, and I can assure you, we've got 40 folks here at the firm who pretty much only do vaccine work. We've got, I think, the largest vaccine practice that in the world that doesn't represent pharmaceutical companies, and we're not letting this go.
Well, look, Brianne, you went to the right place. There's no question about that. I'm saying it takes time, and the media falls off. We're about the new in news. We don't forget here at News Nation. We'll be a call away for the rest of the time. I promise you that. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. 3 minutes.